really awkward encounter after she tried to join her husband and his Polo teammates on stage after a match last week. Now, it's just so cringeworthy. I don't know why she's up there, for one.
It's been revealed that Meghan Markle actually invited herself to this Paris Fashion Week show earlier this month. Now, the Balenciaga designer has claimed that she reached out and she said she would love to come to the show.
Oh my God!
Today, thank you very much, Drew Tucker, for putting on such a great day here at the Polo Club. Again, a big thank you to all those who provided horses.
I was so overwhelmed by this experience. I think I even saved my little paper place card that said my name on it. Proof that I was there. And proof that I belonged. Because the truth was, I wasn't sure that I belonged. I was so nervous.
Meghan Markle has a habit many people can't stop talking about. She puts herself first, no matter who's standing next to her. And the cameras have caught it again and again. These aren't rumors. These aren't opinions. These are real moments caught on camera, where Meghan steps ahead, takes the center spot, or shifts the focus straight onto herself. Sometimes it's subtle. Other times, it's impossible to miss. What makes these moments so uncomfortable is how often they happen when they shouldn't. Group events, shared victories, serious occasions, yet somehow the attention keeps circling back to her. In this video, we're breaking down Meghan Markle's most talked about me first moments. Clips that sparked backlash, confusion, and endless debate online. Some will make you shake your head. Others will make you rewind just to be sure you saw it right. And trust me, the last one changes everything. It's the moment that made even her biggest defenders go quiet. So don't skip, watch closely. Because once you see the pattern, it's impossible to unsee. Meghan moved seats to steal the spotlight. At the Commonwealth service, Meghan Markle pulled a move that many viewers still talk about today. In a setting built on order and restraint, she did the opposite. She jumped chairs to move ahead of Sophie, Countess of Wessex, and Prince Edward. This wasn't confusion. This wasn't crowding. It was a clear, deliberate step to land at the front, right where the cameras were pointed. The move looked rushed and unnecessary, especially in a service where protocol quietly matters. What made it worse is how avoidable it was. Sophie is known for being patient and polite. She would have waited. She would have allowed Meghan to move ahead without any drama. There was no pressure, no urgency, no reason to force it. But Meghan forced it anyway. To critics, the moment felt calculated. A fast grab for better angles and more visibility. Instead of blending into the group, she broke formation and pulled focus at the exact wrong time. The reaction afterward spoke volumes. That segment was reportedly removed from the BBC's official footage, a quiet edit that only drew more attention once people noticed it was gone. And that's why this clip still gets replayed. Not because it was loud, but because it was revealing. A split-second decision that showed visibility mattered more than protocol, even when patience would have achieved the same result. Sometimes the clearest moments are the ones that didn't need to happen at all. The royal tour that sparked backlash. There's one thing Meghan Markle seems completely unable to do: stay out of the spotlight. And one moment at a public event made that painfully clear. Instead of waiting her turn like everyone else, Meghan pushed her way forward just to be seen. No pause, no hesitation. Just a quick move to the front so the cameras would land on her. The shift was obvious. People around her looked surprised. The natural order was broken. What should have been a calm, shared moment suddenly felt tense and awkward. To many watching, the energy felt desperate. Like standing in the background wasn't an option. Like not being the focal point, even for a few seconds, was unbearable. This wasn't confidence. It didn't feel natural. It looked forced. A grab for attention that made the moment about her instead of the event itself. And that's why clips like this keep resurfacing. Because once people see that pattern pushing forward, cutting in, claiming the center, it changes how every appearance looks afterward. The cameras caught every single second, and that's what made it impossible to ignore. You don't even need sound to understand what happened. Just look at the faces around her. Shock, confusion, pure disbelief. People froze, some stared. Others glanced at each other like they couldn't believe what they were seeing in real time. It was one of those moments where the reactions told the real story. And here's the ironic part. Meghan Markle didn't get the attention she clearly wanted in that moment. The applause wasn't there. The focus didn't land the way she expected, but she still walked away with something else. People talked. Clips spread, comments exploded, replays went viral. Not because it was impressive, but because it was uncomfortable. Sometimes the spotlight doesn't shine the way you plan it to. Sometimes it exposes you instead. And that's exactly why this moment still gets brought up. She didn't control the narrative, but she became the topic. Meghan's Nigeria gift snatch. And then there was Nigeria, May 2024, a moment so awkward it practically speaks for itself. During a public appearance, a local royal stepped forward to present a gift meant clearly for Prince Harry. It was a respectful gesture, the kind of moment where roles are obvious and everyone knows their place. But Meghan Markle couldn't resist. Instead of letting Harry receive the gift, Meghan stepped directly in front of him and grabbed it first. No pause, no glance, just straight into the spotlight. Cameras caught it cleanly. What happened next made it even worse. The presenter immediately corrected the moment and redirected the gift back to Harry. Right in front of everyone. Meghan was left standing there, holding nothing, wearing that tight, frozen smile people instantly recognized. You could feel the tension. The correction was polite but firm, and it said everything without saying a word. Everyone saw it, everyone replayed it, and everyone talked about it. What was meant to look like confidence turned into a power move gone wrong. Instead of controlling the moment, she lost it. And in that split second, the cameras didn't flatter. They exposed. Once again, the spotlight didn't land the way she planned, and that's exactly why this clip refuses to disappear. Meghan tries to get in the car before the Queen could. At one joint royal engagement, cameras caught a moment that instantly made people uneasy. As the group approached the car, Meghan Markle moved forward, as if she was about to step inside before the Queen. A clear break from royal protocol, where rank decides everything. A palace guard quickly stepped in and stopped her, signaling that the Queen must go first. That should have ended it, but it didn't. When the Queen paused briefly to speak with a staff member, Meghan leaned in again, edging forward as if testing the moment. You can see the hesitation around her, people freezing, unsure of what would happen next. The tension was obvious. To avoid a public scene, the Queen eventually allowed Meghan to enter the car, but by then, the damage was done. What should have been smooth and respectful turned into a visibly awkward exchange caught from multiple angles. For critics, this wasn't nerves. Royal rules are explained again and again, especially during public appearances. Moments like this made it look like Meghan struggled with the basics, or chose to ignore them. That's why this clip still gets replayed today. Not because it was loud, but because it quietly showed a disconnect. Even next to Elizabeth II, the moment became about pushing forward, and people noticed, living in the shadow of the future Queen. In this revealing clip of Meghan Markle caught being rude on camera, many see a calculated move to overshadow Kate Middleton. The future Queen during a somber royal walkabout, Meghan Markle's subtle moves spoke loudly. A quick, cold nod dismissed Kate Middleton, a sharp contrast to the warmth shown elsewhere. The future Queen shared with the public, highlighting what many saw as a lack of respect for Kate Middleton's role and for the seriousness of the moment. Meanwhile, Meghan Markle's eagerness to start handshakes, a clear break from royal rules, pulled attention away from the Kate Middleton and back onto herself. This self-centered move created awkward moments with members of the public watching it unfold, and the impact on others was clear. Even in a small moment where Meghan Markle brushed off an aide's attempt to help with flowers, now reinforcing the image of entitlement and disrespect, adding yet another moment to the growing list tied to Meghan Markle, where Meghan Markle appears to put her own comfort and image above the needs and feelings of everyone around her. It stood in stark contrast to Kate Middleton's calm, respectful manner, further highlighting what critics see as Meghan Markle's disregard for royal tradition and her ambition to stay the center of attention, even if it meant overshadowing the future Queen, Kate Middleton, and a moment meant to be solemn. The Polo trophy box controversy. After one of Prince Harry's polo wins in Florida, what should have been a clean victory moment quickly turned awkward. As the team gathered to pose for photos, the focus was supposed to stay on the players and their win. But cameras caught Meghan Markle reaching toward a teammate's trophy box, even though it clearly wasn't meant for her. The player noticed immediately and politely pulled it back, trying to keep the moment on the team. That should have been the end of it. It wasn't. Instead of stepping aside, Meghan awkwardly ducked under raised arms and squeezed herself back into the frame, clearly determined not to be cut out of the shot. The movement was clumsy, the timing was off, and the moment turned uncomfortable fast. You can see it on the players' faces. Confusion mixed with forced smiles. What was meant to be a proud team photo suddenly felt messy, like boundaries were being tested in real time. For many viewers, this wasn't confidence. It looked like desperation to stay visible, even when the moment didn't belong to her. A win for the team became another clip people replayed, not for the trophy, but for the awkward grab that followed. And once again, the cameras didn't miss a thing.
Really awkward encounter after she tried to join her husband and his polo teammates on stage after a match last week. Now, it's just so cringeworthy. I don't know why she's up there, for one.
Meghan Markle just can't seem to help herself. Even when the moment clearly belongs to someone else, she still finds a way to put herself right in the middle of it. Instead of standing back and letting others enjoy their win, she reaches in, sometimes literally, for attention. Hands out, body forward, eyes on the camera. It's like being off-screen isn't an option. What makes these moments uncomfortable is how unnecessary they are. No one invited her to step in. No one asked her to take part. Yet there she is, touching things that aren't hers, inserting herself where she doesn't belong. To many watching, this doesn't look like support. It looks like interference. A quiet but clear attempt to steal focus from someone else's achievement. And that's why these clips keep circulating. Because instead of celebrating the win, people are left talking about her. Once again, the attention shifts. Not because it should, but because she made sure it did. Walking ahead of the crown jewels, without authorization. During one royal visit, cameras caught a moment that instantly made palace staff tense. As Meghan Markle and Prince Harry approached an area where the crown jewels were displayed, they appeared to move forward before they were cleared to do so. This wasn't a casual mistake. Areas like this follow strict rules. Security is tight. Order matters. No one steps ahead, not even royals. A royal aide reacted immediately, stepping in and physically stopping them until the king and queen moved forward first. The pause was short, but painfully awkward. You can see the hesitation, the sudden stop, the quiet correction happening in real time. And then came the contrast. Moments later, Catherine, Princess of Wales, walked through the same area with calm control. No rush, no confusion. She simply followed protocol, moving exactly as expected, just as Elizabeth II had always done. No aide stepped in. No correction was needed. Without saying a word, Catherine highlighted the difference. Where Meghan and Harry seemed unaware or impatient, Catherine moved with quiet understanding. The contrast was sharp, and viewers noticed immediately. That's why this moment still gets talked about. Not because it was dramatic, but because it revealed something subtle, yet telling. In royal spaces, grace isn't about moving first. It's about knowing when not to move at all. Meghan cuts off Harry on stage. Meghan Markle seems unable to share the spotlight. And if she's not standing in the center, critics say she makes sure no one else is either. During their self-proclaimed Nigeria tour, cameras caught a moment that said it all. Meghan positioned herself directly in front of Prince Harry, blocking him almost completely from view. Not beside him, not next to him, in front of him. The reaction on stage was immediate. People looked surprised. One woman standing near Harry appeared visibly annoyed, glancing toward Meghan as if waiting for her to move, but she didn't. Harry tried to fix it quietly. He gave a gentle nudge, a subtle signal to stand together. Meghan planted her feet and stayed exactly where she was. No adjustment, no step aside. What should have been a shared appearance suddenly felt one-sided. Meghan stood like the main act, perfectly placed for the cameras, while Harry looked pushed into the background almost like a backup presence at his own event. To many viewers, this wasn't confidence. It looked like control. Even at a moment meant for both of them, the positioning made it clear who was meant to be seen. And that's why this clip keeps circulating. It's silent, it's brief, but it's revealing. Once you notice how often this happens, it changes how every joint appearance looks afterward. Forcing her way into Paris Fashion Week. Fashion Week is supposed to be about the clothes, the designers, the creativity. It's a space for people who truly love fashion to let style speak for itself, without forcing the spotlight. But when Meghan Markle showed up, many felt that wasn't the priority anymore. Instead of letting the fashion lead, she seemed determined to be the focus of the room. The cameras mattered more than the collections. The attention mattered more than the event itself. Every movement looked aimed at being noticed. To critics, it didn't feel effortless or elegant. It felt loud in a place that values subtlety. Fashion Week isn't about stealing the show, it's about respecting it. But Meghan didn't appear interested in blending in or playing her role. She wanted the center. She wanted the cameras. She wanted the attention, no matter the setting. And that's why people still talk about it. Because in a world built to celebrate fashion, she turned the moment into something else entirely. Another spotlight grab.
It's been revealed that Meghan Markle actually invited herself to this Paris Fashion Week show earlier this month. Now, the Balenciaga designer has claimed that she reached out and she said she would love to come to the show.
When the attention wasn't landing the way she wanted, critics say Meghan Markle made a move that stunned a lot of people. Instead of stepping back, she chose a moment many felt should have been left alone. She went to the site connected to the death of Diana, Princess of Wales, and filmed a video there. For viewers, this wasn't just another appearance. It felt deeply personal and painfully timed. That place represents loss, grief, and trauma, especially for Prince Harry. By that point, Harry had openly talked about therapy and the long-lasting impact of his mother's death. So, seeing that location turned into content made many people uncomfortable. It didn't look like reflection. It looked like another grab for attention, no matter the cost. What bothered critics most was the lack of restraint. There was no visible pause, no sense that Harry's feelings mattered in that moment. The focus stayed on her, again. And yes, she got attention. Headlines followed, clips spread, reactions exploded. But it wasn't admiration, it was backlash, the kind that sticks. For many viewers, this crossed a line. Not because it was loud, but because it felt cold. A moment tied to grief became a stage, and people don't forget that. That's why this still gets talked about today, because when attention is chased at any cost, even sacred ground can become part of the performance. Charity chairwoman pushed out of the way. At the Royal Salute Polo Challenge, what should have been a clean celebration turned into another uncomfortable moment on camera. After Prince Harry's team won, everyone gathered for the trophy presentation. This is usually straightforward. Players center, charity leaders beside them. Quick photos, move on. Simple. But cameras caught Meghan Markle stepping in and appearing to tell the Sentebale charity chairwoman, Sophie Chandauka, to move, away from Harry and closer to Meghan. The moment was subtle, but clear. Meghan gestured. Dr. Chandauka adjusted. Positions shifted. And suddenly, Meghan was right in the center of the shot. It looked forced. It looked unnecessary. And it happened in real time, right in front of the cameras. Instead of the focus staying on the win or the charity, attention snapped to the awkward reshuffle. Dr. Chandauka was pushed aside so Meghan could hold the prime position, while Harry ended up off to the side in his own victory moment. To critics, this didn't feel like leadership or coordination. It felt like control. Another quiet move to make sure the photo and the spotlight landed exactly where she wanted. And that's why this clip still gets replayed. Not because of the trophy, but because of the power move behind it.
Thank you very much, Drew Tucker, for putting on such a great day here at the Polo Club. Again, a big thank you to all those who provided horses.
Meghan Markle just couldn't let anyone else share the spotlight, not even at a charity event. What should have been about the cause, the players, and the people being helped slowly turned into something else entirely. It stopped being about Harry's win. It stopped being about the charity. And once again, it became about where Meghan was standing. Instead of blending into the moment, she made sure she was front and center, positioned perfectly for the cameras. The focus shifted away from the reason everyone was there and locked onto her presence. To many watching, this didn't feel accidental. It felt intentional. Like every public moment had to orbit around her, no matter the setting or the purpose. And that's why people reacted so strongly. Because when even a charity event turns into a personal spotlight moment, it raises a simple question. Was this ever really about the cause at all? That's the pattern critics keep pointing to. And once you see it, it's hard to ignore. The One Young World speech that became all about Meghan. At the One Young World Summit, the spotlight was supposed to be on young leaders, people changing their countries, building communities, and fighting real battles most of us will never face. That was the purpose of the event. But when Meghan Markle took the stage, the focus shifted almost immediately. Instead of lifting up the youth in the room, her speech turned inward. In just 7 minutes, she mentioned herself 34 times. Not their work, not their sacrifices. Hers. The room was filled with future leaders, yet the message kept circling back to Meghan's own story. The summit stopped feeling like a platform for young voices and started sounding like a personal reflection session. Then came the moment that made people pause. Meghan talked about keeping her name card from the event as proof that she belonged there. To critics, that didn't sound inspiring. It sounded insecure. less like encouragement, and more like a quiet request for validation. Instead of saying, "You matter," the message felt like, "Notice me." For many watching, that's when the disconnect became clear. An event designed to celebrate others slowly became centered on one person. The youth faded into the background, while Meghan's narrative stayed front and center. That's why this speech still gets replayed and debated, not because of what it inspired, but because of what it revealed. In a room full of future changemakers, the attention somehow found its way back to just one name.
I was so overwhelmed by this experience. I think I even saved my little paper place card that said my name on it. Proof that I was there, and proof that I belonged. Because the truth was, I wasn't sure that I belonged. I was so nervous.
What was supposed to be a celebration of the people in the room quickly turned into something else entirely. Instead of highlighting the attendees, their work, or why they mattered, the event slowly became all about one person. Many viewers described it as a Meghan-centric performance. The focus drifted away from the audience and locked onto Meghan Markle. Her words, her reactions, her presence, everything revolved around her. The energy in the room changed. Moments meant to uplift others were redirected. Applause followed her stories, not the achievements of the people who were supposed to be honored. The spotlight stayed fixed in one place, even when it clearly wasn't meant to. To critics, this didn't feel accidental. It felt planned, like the event became a stage rather than a shared experience. Instead of celebrating many voices, it centered just one. That's why this moment stood out so much. Not because of what was said, but because of who everything was really about. When an event forgets its purpose, people notice. And once they do, they don't forget it. Pushing Rosamund Pike off the stage. At the British Fashion Awards 2018, guests witnessed a moment that left the room stunned. Right in the middle of the show, Meghan Markle did something no one was expecting. She took over the stage. According to people who were there, the event had already been fully scripted. Every cue was planned. Every presenter knew their role. Rosamund Pike was already in position, doing exactly what she had been assigned to do. Then suddenly, Meghan inserted herself into the spotlight. Without warning, she walked onto the stage, and organizers were forced to react in real time. You could feel the confusion. Staff scrambled. The flow of the show broke, and Rosamund, visibly caught off guard, had no choice but to step aside. Meghan, on the other hand, walked forward with full confidence, as if this had always been her moment. To critics, this wasn't bold, it was disruptive. A carefully planned event was thrown off balance, so one person could take center stage. The attention shifted instantly, not because it was earned in that moment, but because it was taken. That's why this incident still gets talked about. Not for the fashion, not for the awards, but for the awkward power move that turned a shared celebration into a spotlight grab. Right in front of everyone. Meghan elbows people out of the way. During the Hamilton charity event at Victoria Palace Theatre in 2018, cameras caught a moment that instantly raised eyebrows. As guests and officials gathered, Meghan Markle moved forward, and in the process, appeared to elbow a man aside to get to the front. It was quick, but not quick enough. The cameras were already rolling. The man looked startled. People nearby paused. You can see the split second where the flow breaks and everyone realizes something just happened. Instead of waiting her turn or following the royal order, Meghan kept moving until she was perfectly centered for the photos. Royal rules or not, the priority seemed clear: be seen. What made it more uncomfortable was the setting. This was a charity night, a shared space, a moment meant for everyone. Yet the focus snapped to one sudden move that shifted the entire group. To critics, it didn't look confident. It looked forced. Another instance where positioning mattered more than patience. And that's why this clip still circulates. Not because it was loud, but because it was caught. One small shove, one startled reaction, and a reminder that cameras don't miss what people try to rush past. Meghan turns the veterans event into her moment. This moment made a lot of people pause and ask one simple question: why was she even there? During the Invictus Games 2023, cameras captured Meghan Markle marching in front of wounded veterans. Veterans who sacrificed their bodies. Veterans who were supposed to be the clear focus of that moment. Yes, we've seen her push for the front before. That part isn't new, but this time felt different. This wasn't a fashion event. This wasn't a red carpet. This was about injured service members, people who earned that spotlight through real sacrifice. And yet, there she was, leading the walk. For many viewers, it felt wrong. Not awkward, not misunderstood, just wrong. If there was ever a moment to step back and let others lead, this was it. But she didn't. That's why people are still talking about it. What exactly did Meghan do to deserve walking ahead of the veterans? What role did she play that put her in front of them instead of beside them or behind them? I'm genuinely asking. If I'm missing something, say it in the comments. Because to a lot of people watching, this didn't look like support. It looked like another moment where the spotlight mattered more than the meaning behind it. Fiji Market Tour. In footage from the Fiji Market Tour, Meghan Markle appears in a striking pink dress, moving through the busy crowd with an air of practiced, almost regal confidence. But in the middle of the smiles and waves, a tense moment breaks through. The camera catches it. Meghan Markle suddenly turns away from the crowd, and her face shifts fast. A clear grimace replacing the smile and warmth she'd just shown is quickly replaced by a flash of irritation. But what really caused it? Well, as you might expect, it was Meghan Markle being rude yet again. A slight twitch of the lips, a barely noticeable move that said plenty. That most would miss. Her lips curl into a sneer, and a sharp, hostile hiss appears to slip from Meghan Markle's mouth. It lasts only a second, a tiny crack in an otherwise polished scene, but the impact is impossible to ignore. That split-second hiss, barely visible, showed what critics call Meghan's true side, someone who doesn't want anyone standing in her way. Reports later claimed the man was left in tears, making critics call Meghan Markle's behavior even more obnoxious. Meghan pulls Harry ahead to control the spotlight. There's a pattern that keeps repeating in Meghan Markle's public appearances, and once you notice it, it's hard to ignore. Time after time, cameras catch her pulling Prince Harry forward so she can step ahead and claim the front spot in the shot. Sometimes it's a hand tug. Sometimes it's a quick step that forces Harry to follow. But the result is almost always the same. Meghan ends up in front, perfectly placed for the camera. What makes these moments uncomfortable is the setting. Many of these appearances are meant to show unity, group walks, joint events, shared responsibilities. Everyone is supposed to move together. Yet Meghan consistently breaks formation to move ahead. To critics, this doesn't feel natural. It doesn't look relaxed. It looks planned, like positioning matters more than partnership. Harry's body language often makes it more obvious. He looks slightly off balance, a half step behind, reacting instead of leading. The movement feels rushed, like it wasn't meant to happen that way. Instead of reading as confidence, these moments often come across as forced positioning. Not teamwork, not flow, just a quiet struggle to stay at the center. And that's why people keep replaying these clips. Because when the same behavior shows up again and again, it stops looking accidental and starts looking like a habit. And there you have it, me first moments where Meghan Markle repeatedly put herself ahead of everyone else. Different events, different settings, same pattern. Some of these moments were subtle. Others were impossible to ignore. But once you line them all up, it becomes harder to believe they were just accidents. To many viewers, they look planned, timed, calculated. Now here's the real question. Which moment shocked you the most? Was it the one that felt disrespectful? The one that crossed a line? Or the one that made you stop and rewind because you couldn't believe it happened? Drop your answer in the comments. I'm genuinely curious to see which clip stood out to you. And if you noticed a moment we didn't cover, say it below. Let's talk about it. If you found this breakdown interesting, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Because this story isn't over. See you in the next one.